What is going on, guys? Alex here, back with another video, and Kingston have been experts in the tech game for at least 30 years. Today I'm reviewing their A400 SSD. So just before we start, I need to give a big shout out to the team over at Kingston for both sending me these two SSDs to do the video on, and also sponsoring this video in general. Thank you guys so much. Links as always in the description to any products that I show in this video. So yeah guys, this is the Kingston A400. These two drives are actually the 240GB variety, and basically these are Kingston's brand new SSD that they're calling the Affordable Performance SSD, and that name doesn't really do them justice. And the amount of increase in performance that I've had having installed these now is actually quite incredible, and I'll be showing you guys what I mean by this a bit later on. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the design of these SSDs just before we start going into any of the specs or the performance or the pricing or anything like that. Let's just talk about the design, because of course in my build I have a windowed PC case, so I want to be able to see these SSDs, and I don't want them to stand out or be RGB and like luminous yellow in a black and white build. So in my opinion, these are actually really nice looking SSDs, and if we cut to some B-roll right now, you can see what I mean, because obviously if I'm just holding it, you can't really see very well. So these drives come in a 2.5-inch form factor, as do most SSDs, so that's pretty insignificant. And the materials that it's made from is actually quite hard to tell. If I get a screwdriver just here, which is really annoying and loud. Okay, so these drives are actually made of metal, and if I do a little scrape test on the back, you can just hear the noise that it makes. And if I compare that with solid aluminium, you can tell that they're actually metal. And as well, when I did that, then I actually scraped away some of the paint, and you can see the aluminium underneath. The design on the front of these drives is actually really nice in my opinion. It actually blends in with my PC overall really well. That's mainly down to a number of factors. First of all, the actual color of the paint is like this matte grey, and I really do like that color. It blends in nicely with my PC, but it doesn't really match the basement color, which I quite like because they are noticeable, but at the same time they're not like too obvious. They're not white or luminous orange. Overall, I think the design is really nice, but if you're using it in an enclosure like this one, then you're probably not going to see it, which is a bit unfortunate. Okay, so speaking of enclosures, I'm actually going to install this SSD inside this enclosure right now. So if we head over to a section on my desk where I can film this, it's actually pretty easy to do. So to start off, I needed this tiny little screwdriver. This enclosure isn't actually made to be taken apart, but I did it anyway because it was cool. So basically, you just have to ram the little screwdriver down the edge and just start prying it out. And then beyond that point is literally pretty self-explanatory. You just poke it, then pull it out, and then you've got the 2TB hard drive, which is actually in here now. We're going to swap this for a 240GB SSD. Now, I'm not actually going to keep the SSD inside of here because I would rather use the SSD as a storage drive or a bootable Hackintosh drive inside my PC. So I'm actually going to take that out after I've shot this bit to show you the boot up times and storage transfer times. But obviously, if you are looking to have a portable SSD which you can have really fast storage off, this is definitely something that I recommend doing. The only sacrifice that I can really see right now is the fact that it's gone from being 2TB to 240GB. That's something that I would have to get used to, especially if I was using this on a day-to-day basis, because if you saw a video that I made a couple of months ago, you can actually see that I keep all of my data portable, so if I need to take it anywhere, or if I need to like get it as fast as possible, I can do that and I'm not going to lose anything. Okay, so the second SSD that Kingston sent me is this one, and this is actually going to be running a Hackintosh. It currently has macOS on it. I'm going to show you some of the time that it takes to open apps off this drive, so starting with Final Cut Pro X. So opening up Final Cut Pro X off a hard drive directly off it and booting off that hard drive at the same time took 28 seconds until I could actually start importing footage and opening up everything I wanted to open up. And now that it's running off the SSD, let's take a look at the speeds of it. I've actually done screen recording, which I didn't do of a hard drive because I kind of wiped the drive before thinking about it. But yeah, opening it up, it takes literally 3 to 4 seconds and I'm able to use it instantly. That increase in speed is all down to the fact that there are no spinning parts inside an SSD. I think you guys already know this, but obviously SSDs are flash storage, so literally they're like USB sticks and they're pretty much just flash storage, so nothing has to move, everything's a lot faster. And the same thing can be said for more basic apps such as Safari or Spotify. They literally just open instantly, and the Preferences app, I click it and it's just there. I think the one thing that people don't realize is what they're actually missing. I was one of these people who didn't think that SSDs would actually do all that much for my system, so I never thought about buying one realistically. But then when Kingston offered to send these out, I thought, why don't I try it? Why don't I see the performance increase? These are the drives that I honestly underestimated so much. Okay, so doing boot times on Windows off a physical spinning hard drive, it used to take 1 to 3 minutes, so it used to be about the 2-minute mark. Sometimes it'd be a bit more, sometimes a bit less. It varied a lot depending on like what I was doing last on my computer, and it really did bug me. Booting Windows off this SSD, I don't have the statistic right now, but I'll video it separately and I'll put it on the screen with a timer so you can see how long it takes. That is how long it takes, and that was compared to 1 to 3 minutes before. Also, as soon as it's booted up, I can actually just start using applications instantly, whereas I used to have to wait for background processes and all the Windows things to load. Now I can literally just boot it up, open up Chrome, and it's just there and I can use it straight away. This is down to the flash storage inside the SSDs, because basically it can read and write data much faster than a hard drive can, because rather than having a spinning actuator which actually has to move to read the data, this just kind of does it all without moving parts, and it just kind of reads and writes things using its own processor inside. Now I actually have an external 6 terabytes, so that's 4 in portable and then 2 internal in my PC. So basically it's obviously easier for me to say that storage is easier when it's portable, but actually having this one as a boot disk and this one as a flash storage, so just stuff that I'm editing I can keep on this drive, it actually makes it a hell of a lot faster. I'm willing to sacrifice the storage for the price to performance ratio of these, which is absolutely insane. Okay, so now I'm actually going to transfer a 5-minute 1080p 30 FPS video from one of these SSDs to another SSD, and then from one hard drive to another hard drive, just to show you guys the performance increase. So I'll literally just put a timer and a screen recording right now, and I'll put some music behind it, so yeah. Okay, so transferring it from one SSD to the other took this amount of time, and it's literally on the screen right there, and then transferring it from one hard drive to another hard drive took this amount of time all in all. The performance increase there is actually so amazing. I'm actually really impressed by that, and it's pretty amazing to see how quickly SSDs can handle data compared to how hard drives can handle it. Okay, so according to Kingston, these drives are going to be some of the most affordable drives on the market. So I currently have these 240GB varieties of these drives, and there will be a 120GB variant, which will obviously be a little bit cheaper. Okay, so currently the prices of SSDs are varied really drastically, and this is down to Apple actually buying up the processors that are usually used inside these drives, because obviously the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus have just been... Does anyone remember the time when you used to be able to pay like £25 for a 120GB SSD? Right now on Amazon, if you look at like a Samsung or a Kingston SSD, the price is going to be so much higher than that, just because of the fact that there is actually a shortage on the processors that they use inside of these. So I won't be mentioning the price of this SSD in this video. If you actually want to go and see the price of it, there will be links down in the description for more accurate pricing. Now another thing that you get with Kingston is actually reliability. I've been using Kingston storage for ages. I actually have a couple of the USB sticks which I've managed to save over the years that I've been using. Here I have a 8GB data traveler. This was from when, I don't know, I was in like year 6, so I was probably about 9 or 10 when I had this, and I still have it, and it actually still works right now. This actually got beat up quite a lot. I think it's gone through the washing machine about 12 times, and it still works. Currently right now, it actually kind of matches my t-shirt. I'm using this HyperX USB stick, which is 128GB, and it's USB 3.1. This is my current drive for like everything portable that I have to take to school. This is actually a really old drive, but it still works. This is quite an old drive and it still works, and this is obviously brand new, and I really love it. But anyway, I've just literally got so sidetracked. SSDs, just go buy one. If anyone's considering buying one of these, just go out and buy it, because they are so damn cool. But if I was you, I would wait until the prices drop, when the chips start to become more available. Obviously the prices when you're watching this video might be different to what I'm talking about right now. All in all, I think these SSDs are by far the best thing I've ever used on my PC. They've made everything so much faster, and they truly are, in my opinion, the king of affordable SSDs. If you guys are up for me spray painting these in the future, maybe like spraying one orange and one green just to make my computer look like vomit, then just leave a comment down below what colors I should spray them. And yeah, thank you guys over at Kingston for sending them to me. Thank you for watching this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one.